this a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And this a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And this a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. Ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. Talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
This a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. Ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. Talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma.
And this a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Head to Head with Brian Parker. I am he. I'm sorry, I'm having technical difficulties. Can you hear me okay?
I can, but you look a little weird.
Do I now?
You do.
Well, it's because I switched to a different computer because my other computer was freezing. So
not the white van that's passing through the neighborhood.
It's got to be a white van. So welcome everybody to another episode of Head to Head with Brian Parker. I am he, and thank you for tuning in for another week of talk. We do appreciate. No, you said I was moving slow. Okay, I got you. Am I moving slow now?
No, you're better now, but like as I said, maybe it was because of the other computer that was freezing.
Gotcha. Loud and clear here in Manchester. Hey, thanks for tuning in, Virgil. Anyway, thank y'all for that. Well, we are streaming live and direct as we do every week at this time. Thank you for tuning in. We are streaming live on Roku TV as well as Amazon Fire TV, Instagram, Facebook Live, as well as YouTube. Please join us on our YouTube channel as we are on a drive for 10,000 subscribers. Just simply search for InPower TV, Parker Media TV, and hit that like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. And wherever you're tuning in from, whether you're watching us live and direct or you are watching us on a replay, please make sure that you share that with others so that they know what you're watching, and it helps grow our community organically. It does help with the algorithms out there as well, for people to be able to find us and see what kind of content that you're watching as well. If you are a content creator, somebody that may even have an idea for a show, please reach out to us at theparkermedia@gmail.com. We would love to look at partnering with you and expanding our network, as it does air on Roku, which is open to over 150 million users worldwide. If you have a business, events that you hold and you would like to be able to get the word out, again, reach out to us at theparkermedia@gmail.com. We'd love to be able to help you with your advertising, whether it's a full cut commercial or whether it is a table read. We have the solutions for you at cost that will also work for you as well. Oh, that's fine, Virgil. I know American football is a whole lot different, which is fine. But to give you an example and a taste of the type of commercials that we can do, we've got two, as we always start the show off with, Jermaine Parker Realty and Sawyer Kid Lawyer. We'll play those, and then we'll be back on the other side of the break. Buying a home is one of the biggest decisions that you'll make. Here at Jermaine Parker Realty, we're here to help you navigate through that process. We know that a home is more than just a place to live. It creates memories. Here at Jermaine Parker Realty, we're here to help. Give us a call and let us get started on your journey. Introducing Sawyer Kid Lawyer, Teacher versus Nap Time, a great book that will help your little one with reading, writing, and spelling. Coming from the authors Shanine and Sheldon Muldrow. Please check this book out and support. Thank you so much. All right, we are back just like that. I'm still chewing on food.
And you're
All right,
kind of,
Lori.
the internet signal is a little down, so you're a little wavy. You're not as clear when I see you on the screen because you were kind of freezing up again, and the internet signal's really low. So just giving you an FYI. Maybe it's on.
Okay, but I'm moving okay now.
You are moving, but as I said, it's just because the signal, I just can't really see you that clearly.
Hmm.
You're kind of fading in and out.
Oh, you know what? You know what's probably affecting the signal on this one? Hold on one second. Let me fix this real quick. I know what it is, or I know what may be um, making it worse. Let's try this. Let's try that. Because what I found out was my green screen effects sometimes actually are hurting it too. So let me know if this makes it any better. Is the picture at least clear?
Yes, it's a little more clearer, and I can see you because it was just kind of freezing up and down, and you kind of
Yeah, I
felt it.
forgot this particular computer still had the Empower behind me saved, and I think on the other one, I had gotten rid of it for that very reason. Even though I like it, it just kind of adds too much to the bandwidth. Hopefully, my next computer gets here in a week or two. It should be able to carry all of that. So I'm just kind of
Mm.
waiting it out a little bit. Let me now turn the light back on and see if that helps too. All right, everybody. Now that we're working out my technical difficulties, we'll get into our talk for the week. So it's been a crazy week. There's so many things that are always happening, especially in this country, Lori, that the news cycle moves so much within a week. Nothing could be more present than that, than with the fact that last week, as you all have probably heard, Jimmy Kimmel's show was suspended indefinitely at the time. And we were talking about it last week because it had just happened. And Jimmy Kimmel had gotten suspended indefinitely, apparently because of what he had said in one of his monologues. I didn't see the monologue in live time, so I had to go back and watch the monologue. And Lori, I kept trying to figure out what the hell did he say that would warrant him being pulled. And I think two things can be true a lot of times. Jimmy Kimmel, I don't think was really pulled because of what he said. In this one particular incident, I think it has been a combination of the fact that Donald Trump has despised late night talk shows because they always cast him in a bad light. But if he's ever sat there and watched any late night television, they didn't hold back on Joe Biden. They mocked his age and all kinds of things as well. And even when Obama was president, they did the same thing. Whoever the president is, the late night comedians will make light. He's just very thin skinned where he can't take a joke. This is another reason that he doesn't hold those White House correspondent dinners where, I mean, they still hold them, but normally the president does attend and jokes get thrown out all over the place. And he doesn't go because the last time he went, he was in the audience and Barack Obama roasted the hell out of him. And he ain't never let that go. Even though many will say that actually spurred him on to run for president again. Sorry, I got a fly or a gnat, whatever it is. But because Obama had basically humiliated him in front of everybody, it actually spurned him on into it.
And we also have breaking news as well that based on and again, not to interrupt your talk about Jimmy Kimmel, but apparently former FBI Director James Comey has been indicted on criminal charges stemming from his 2020 testimony, but because the clock was running out, so they had up until Tuesday. Yeah,
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Okay.
So they needed to make sure to, to get that going.
We'll jump into that too. I'll add that on to our plate of goodies, because this is going to face a whole lot of hardship for the Trump administration, and their likely hood of success with this indictment that has been telegraphed at least over the last 24 to 36 hours that it was coming, just because Trump a lot of times says the quiet parts out loud and will make it plain what it is that he wants to do. And then it makes it harder for somebody to go into a courtroom and present a case when he's pretty much let the cat out the bag of what it really is anyway. So, but we'll get into that in 2 seconds. I'll finish up on I'm going to get this damn gnat. It just keeps flying around my head. I'm going to get him. I'm sorry, y'all. But yeah, I ain't going to do this thing all night with this son of a bitch. Anyway.
Well, he's just, attracted.
Nah, man, he's kamikaze. He's like wanting to die, and I'm gonna fulfill his wishes to the best of my ability. But anyway, so I don't think that the Charlie Kirk thing was really more so about what he said in that monologue that day, as the fact that it's been a culmination of he's always wanted him and Colbert and Seth Meyers and anybody, Jimmy Fallon, any of these folks to disappear, because he does not like to be mocked and made a fool of. And for them to be able to freely do that, especially when he feels like he has leverage over them. And the leverage that he has over them, Lori, is not even really supposed to be that way. It's him using the levers of government to flex their muscles. So what ended up happening was Jimmy Kimmel basically said, all he said, like I said, I listened to the whole monologue. He didn't even really say anything wrong. It just offended the people that took it that way. All he basically said, without me quoting word for word, is that the MAGA right were all upset about Charlie Kirk's shooter because they just did not want to admit that Charlie Kirk died from one of their own, and they were losing their minds trying to figure out a way to paint him as somebody other than their own. That was 100% true. And how do we know that that was true? Because before we even knew who the shooter was, they were already talking about he was some left-wing nut. He was this, he was that, didn't even know anything about him. The Democrats have blood on their hands and everything else. And it was like, wait a minute, how do y'all even know this when you don't even know who the hell the person is? And they were already coming up with everything about the guy, and they didn't even know who the guy was or if it was a guy. That was the crazy part. So that part was accurate. Then the next thing that he did was he said, and when President Trump was asked about how he was holding up with Charlie Kirk's death, he spent a millisecond saying, I'm doing okay. And then he says, and by the way, these trucks are here to start on construction of the ballroom that we're doing. is going to be a real beauty when it's done. He spent more time when they asked him the question about Charlie Kirk talking about a damn ballroom. Ooh, almost got you. Talking about a ballroom. Then he did Charlie Kirk. And then all that Jimmy Kimmel said after that was, this is not how adults mourn people that they call their friends. This is how children mourn the loss of their goldfish. Again, he said it in a humorous way, but it was 100% true, because when somebody asks you, hey, you just lost a friend of yours, how you holding up? I'm doing okay, but by the way, these trucks are here to build this ballroom that we've been trying to get built for 150 years, and I'm finally going to do it and stuff like that. You ain't being reflective about losing your friend and what a terrible tragedy it is, and how we all should just take time to take a beat and try to dial down the temperature, and how political violence has no place in the country. And you would expect the leader of the fucking free world to take a second and say, maybe I need to sit there and think about something that has nothing to do with me. And he could not do that because he is so involved that he can't look at anything that has nothing to do with him. So he had to make it about the ballroom again. And that's all that Jimmy Kimmel said. And that was enough for the network to yank him. Now, what a lot of people don't understand, Lori, is ABC, NBC, and CBS are broadcast networks. I'm a broadcast network in a lot of ways, meaning that how I made that announcement earlier, that if somebody wants to partner with us, Lori, that they can stream from our channel. Well, they would be their own subsidiary stations, and they're using my platform to broadcast, right? So I would be a broadcast. So the way that this works is the individual television stations are the ones that hold the broadcast licenses. ABC, CBS, NBC, for the most part, do not hold those licenses unless they own individual stations. So you as a station have a license with me, the broadcaster, for me to air your content, right? Which is the Jimmy Kimmel Show. I'm airing that on my platform through your studio, and your subsidiary is being able to show it to your viewers in your market. You hold the broadcast license. So when Brandon Carr, the commissioner of the FCC, was threatening to pull licenses, he wasn't going to be pulling licenses from ABC, NBC, CBS. He was threatening to pull licenses from these individual or conglomerate studios out there. That's a difference. So it was the individual studio companies that said, we're not going to air Jimmy Kimmel. We're going to preempt it with some other programming. So it's ABC didn't turn the lights off. The smaller stations did. And even when Jimmy Kimmel came back, the right-leaning ones still decided not to air Jimmy Kimmel. So even though Jimmy Kimmel did come back on the air, he still was not fully on the air everywhere, because broadcasting networks like Sinclair still chose not to air him. Go ahead, Lori.
Yes, but even with the reason why Jimmy Kimmel came back on, because a lot of people, which is another thing, even with certain right-wing stations that chose not to air Jimmy Kimmel's return, these people are are dependent on advertising dollars. So if that's the thing where you're going to sit here and just say, or it's whether it's local or rural, whatever, I said, most Americans or most people spoke with their pocketbook and basically said, because that's when that's when you saw the decline, when they said that they were no longer going to air Jimmy Kimmel. That's when you had seen people taking canceling their subscription to Disney, Disney Plus, Hulu, all
Mm-hmm.
of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then with that was going on. But what you're going to see here, even though they may have decided to on those smaller stations to preempt it with some other type of or right wing leaning stations, you still have the right to sit here and to contact them to say, no, I want to sit here and to be able to do that. And then because again, that's speaking, you're speaking with your pocketbook and with your advertising dollars. Because if you're going to sit here and to stand up, and even for the company of Sinclair, that's as I said, a lot of people had started a write-in campaign to physically tell them, no, I want you to sit here and to air it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely. What's going on, Curtis McCoy? How you doing, my man? Virgil, yes, you may respectfully make a point. So yeah, that's definitely what started that Kimmel coming back and everything else, and then Trump being mad because he puts out a post talking about they were told that um the show was canceled and that they may go back and take ABC back into litigation. And part of the reason is that when you don't stand up to a bully and you keep giving them your lunch money, they're going to keep coming back. And when ABC capitulated to Donald Trump earlier over comments that George Stephanopoulos made, and he ended up with $16 million, $1 million from Stephanopoulos, $15 million from ABC, that gave him the ability to feel like, hey, I have dominion over you. You will do what I say and you'll like it. And the fact that they basically push back, now he's like, hey, I already got 16 million before. This seems a lot more lucrative. We might have to do this again to see if he can squeeze even more money out of them like a damn mob boss. And then when CBS capitulated because of their editing of 60 Minutes from a Kamala Harris interview, again, that emboldens him. When the law firms sit there and offer free legal services so that they can stay in his good graces, it's not that now he's going to stay off your back. He's going to keep his thumb on your neck forever. And if you ever step out of line, he will remind you over and over that he is your daddy. And that's what he was
Yes.
trying to do with ABC.
And that's what he's trying to do. But I think that a lot of people need to understand, or
Mhm.
maybe even those big um, talk show hosts, that you can't keep going on with in terms of mainstream media. You need to be going to these streaming platforms and this one, so where that you can be able to have your content and put it out without any preconceived conditions.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can even see that now with Stephen Colbert. He's already did the same thing. A lot of folks, whether it's Terry Moran, whether it's Don Lemon, whether it's Joy-Ann Reid, a lot of these people that have been in major broadcast roles have, Dan Rather, have found life after broadcast TV space. Jim Acosta is the latest one from CNN that decided to leave the network because he just couldn't take any more of Trump's bullshit, and felt liberated now that he's on the independent media side, knowing that independent media is not beholden to a lot of these big companies. What makes ABC and a lot of these other networks for the taking, Lori, is that for a lot of them, the TV part is just a small part of everything else that they do. There's other things that they need the government to sign off on. Mergers have to be approved. If I have this big company and you have a big company and we wanting to do a merger, a lot of times those have to be regulated and approved by the government, whether it's the FCC, the FTC, and everything else. So if Trump is mad at me, he could stop our merger from happening And with our merger happening, we both stand to make a whole lot of money from it. This is why CBS went ahead and gave up that $16 million, because there were billions of dollars on the line from their merger that they were looking to do with Skydance. Same thing with ABC. Everybody has to realize that ABC is now part of Disney. Disney does everything from television, studios, to movies, to their theme parks. They're entangled in so many things that do need government approval, that it pretty much puts them in a bind. It paints them into a corner, because you've gotten so big with so many things that you do, and they know that they can sit there and put pressure on you to basically say, hey, if you want us to sit there and sign off on this, then you're gonna have to do us a little favor. You're gonna have to pay some tribute. That's straight mob shit. You're gonna have to pay a tribute. I'm pretty sure when Biden was president that there were a lot of deals that they approved from entities that they did not agree with, or say, hey, we're going to approve this merger. We need 10% of your company, and things like that they're doing now, whether it's, Oracle or some of these other companies that they're trying to get stakes in and stuff like that and make money off of them, or tell them, or even now they're trying to tell pharmaceutical companies how much they can charge other countries for pharmaceuticals. Like, all of this is just strong arming tactics that are not even really constitutional. But the problem is, with a 6'3" right-wing MAGA Supreme Court, they'll be able to do any damn thing that they want. There's no checks and balances. Let me see where Virgil's question is. Okay, when COVID emerged here in England, I was called a conspiracy theorist because I didn't conform to the narrative. Okay. I had fellow coworkers who were sacked for refusing to take the jab, Lori.
The job.
He meant the jab, the needle, the vaccine.
The needle. Oh,
the jab.
not job. Sorry.
Everybody calls the needle the jab. So, well, not that is relevant to this, but I'll entertain it for a second. Virgil, when COVID first came out, you have to go back and look at our history as far as pandemics go. I think no matter how we look at COVID, we had to understand that people were dying left and right. We have to acknowledge that people were dying from COVID. Okay. That should be a baseline agreement. Whether you support vaccines or not, if there is a strain of something running rampant throughout the world, it wasn't limited to China or Africa or anything. It was spread all over the place. People dying, people needing respirators, everything else. To keep people safe, there's a such thing called public interest. When you cannot keep the public safe because of a pandemic, yes, you have to restrict people's access to things. If you want people to continue to be around you, you have to know that for public interest, everyone is taking as many precautionary measures as possible to keep people from getting sick. A lot of hospitals mandated that their nurses who are in close proximity to people with very, very weak immune systems take the jab. And a lot of nurses said no, and they were let go. With COVID, not from COVID, I've been in medicine for many years. Now, Virgil, first you told me you was a damn head doctor. So, I got to know what your expertise is. I mean, what kind of doctor are you? Or are you a doctor? Because the problem, Virgil, is that until COVID came, people seem to be a lot more trusting of doctors and science and medicine. So it was crazy that when COVID came, everybody then wanted to become their own epidemiologist. Everybody knew more about vaccines than the people that study vaccines. Now everybody became Google warriors, where they go on and they would talk about alternative medications. Ain't nobody put up no fight about alternative medications to polio. Didn't nobody put up no fight about chickenpox. Didn't nobody put up any fight about mumps, measles, and rubella. Didn't nobody put up no fight about damn, I just forgot what it's called. You get your tetanus shot and all that stuff. All these different things that you can get, hepatitis B. Nobody put up a fight about any of these other damn vaccines. Kids have always had to go get vaccines before they go to school. They go and they have their shot records. Nobody put up a fight about that unless they said it was for religious reasons and things like that. But everybody was pretty much in agreement about stuff like that. But when COVID came, because people turned it into a political issue, it became, you're infringing on my rights. I should have the right to choose, and this and that and the third. And it became more than it had to be, because people were using it as a way to say, you're forcing me to do something. And it's almost this idea that if you give me a choice, then it's okay. But once you force me to do something, I'm going to rebel just for the fact that you're just trying to make me do something that I don't know if I want to do. I don't want to put that in my body. Well, okay, but you can't be around a whole lot of other people then, because you can potentially compromise those people. And those people should not have to be compromised because of whatever research you feel like you've done. That's just crazy. If you were run over by a bus, it was mandated that you tested positive for COVID. That went on the death certificate, brother. That is a conspiracy theory. That's not true. That's not true. If you got hit by a bus, Virgil, and the obvious cause of death when they do your autopsy is you got hit by a bus, on the death certificate it says you got hit by a bus. What you're conflating, when people could have had COVID, that they died and that they ended up dying from COVID, when it could have been pneumonia, when it could have been something to do with their fact, look it up. No, I already did. This has been debunked so long ago that it is a conspiracy theory. That was never the case. People were not getting hit by buses and it goes down as COVID numbers. Virgil, if you can't agree that people died from COVID and that COVID was a pandemic, then we don't need to talk about it anymore, because that's just denying reality. Now, whether you think the numbers were inflated, whether you think that vaccines weren't properly thoroughly tested before being given out, whether you feel like people were being mandated to do things that it should have been a choice, all of those things are great and arguable. But if we can't just confirm with baseline that COVID was real, I mean, this is like saying that we faked the damn moon landing. And I ain't having that conversation. I'm just not. I'm not a willing participant in that bullshit, because COVID was real. I know people that died from COVID. So anybody that tries to make me believe that COVID was a figment of my fucking imagination, I have no interest in having that conversation, because that is ridiculous. If you want to dispute the numbers, why does how many people died from COVID matter so much? Shouldn't the issue be that if anybody died from COVID, that should be a problem, period? Shouldn't that be the issue? Why do people that want to entertain these theories get tied up in, well, the numbers don't add up. It says that X amount of people died from COVID. Okay, you give me your number, how many died from COVID, and you tell me if that was a good number or not. You just make up, pull out the back of your ass how many people you think died from COVID, and you tell me if that was still okay. COVID caused respiratory issues. If people had weak immune systems and they got COVID and they died, did they die from COVID? Yes. COVID compromised their already compromised immune system. That's how deaths get counted. That's how deaths have gotten counted forever. I have a heart condition. Where did COVID go? Nowhere. It's still here. You ain't never heard of herd immunity? You ain't never heard of once society reaches a certain point of immunity that it does tamper down. COVID has not gone away. I don't know why you say that. People still get COVID shots, but it's become more common like getting flu shots because the vaccines that people have been taking gives them coverage just like a flu shot will. Now, it doesn't always cover every strain because some strains fight against the current vaccines, just like flu shots do. But when the flu first came out, Virgil, it did the same thing because there was no vaccine for the flu. And until enough people started taking the flu vaccine, it was an epidemic. It wasn't a pandemic, but it was an epidemic. Same thing with polio. Where did polio go? Where did the measles go? Well, people still get the measles, but do they get the measles at the same level that they did when it first came out? No.
But there has been a resurgence in measles.
Well, yeah, because of people's refusal to get vaccinated because everybody doing their research in Texas. See, so here's the evidence. We haven't had outbreaks and stuff, but now all these conspiracy theories are making people question whether they should get vaccinated. So what happens? Diseases that we have basically put in control are now starting to outbreak again. Is that a coincidence? Or are they just being hit by a bus and it's being called the measles? See what I'm saying? COVID didn't go anywhere. That's the whole point. It's still there. People are still dying from COVID, Virgil. But is it a pandemic anymore? No. Why? Because so much of the world now has become vaccinated. That is, of course, but these viruses have been killing people with compromised systems for many years. Yes, but it was also killing people that were perfectly healthy. You're making it sound like everybody that died from COVID had an immune system deficiency or compromised immune systems. No, it just meant that they were even in worse shape. That's why it affected the elderly more than it affected younger kids. It didn't, but it also did affect people that were in perfect good health. You didn't hear stories about people that were in perfect good health, or maybe they had underlying conditions that they didn't know about could have potentially been affected. Yes, but there were plenty of people that were considered perfectly healthy that also died from COVID. You never got the jab. That's good for you. But I would say, hey, if you're around me and you didn't get the jab at that time, I wouldn't be around you. Now, because I'm protected, because I've not only gotten the jab, I've gotten rejabbed and rejabbed and rejabbed. And guess what? I'm gonna go get another jab. And make sure that I continue to do that because I care about the people that I'm around, and I don't want to give them something because I'm sitting here trying to do my own damn research and I'm not trusting medical doctors and people that go to school. I remember a time when being educated in medicine and science was a good thing. So the guy under the bus was healthy. He could have been. It ain't COVID that killed him unless you're saying the bus driver that drove the bus had COVID and somehow that made him have COVID. Yeah, the guy under the bus, Virgil, could have been perfectly healthy and COVID isn't what killed him. It was a big ass bus that killed him. And whoever was behind the wheel of the big ass bus. The guy under the bus was healthy. Of course, he could have been. It doesn't mean that he was. But so you're saying everybody that gets hit by a bus has a compromised immune system? So everybody that gets in a car accident has a compromised immune system? People that die in plane crashes and bus, I missed the point. What's the fucking point? You don't know if the person that got hit by a bus was healthy or not. You're asking me a question that you don't even know the answer to. That's the point. That's what makes that a conspiracy theory, Virgil. When you're sitting there coming to a conclusion without any facts, that in definition is a conspiracy theory. You're defining it. You're putting a picture to it. If I ask somebody to draw a picture of a conspiracy theory, there it is. You're associating one thing with another. You don't know if somebody got hit by a bus, if they're healthy or not. Does that really matter? They're dead. And you would have to determine, well, what is healthy? Was he a diabetic? Damn, I think I almost got him. Was he a diabetic? Does that mean he's not healthy if he's a type 1 diabetic or type 2 diabetic? What makes him healthy? At the time of his death, what killed him? Was it complications from having COVID? Just because there's people that have compromised immune systems that still live long lives. But if they then end up getting COVID and it kills them, they died from COVID. Because just because you have a weak immune system isn't a death sentence. It's not your weak immune system that killed you. It's the complications from having COVID. No, anyone who died who passed the COVID test had to have it on the death certificate. What? Oh, you're saying if he got hit by a bus and then later they found out he had COVID, you're saying the number said he died from COVID. That doesn't make any sense. But if you feel like that's true, again, my question is, why does that matter? I'm not saying I agree with the way that that's being counted, but what the hell does that have to do with COVID? Or is that just something to argue about? What difference does it make what the death certificate says? Is there a conspiracy that, oh, well, they drove up all of these numbers to make it seem worse than it was? Because from my vantage point, it was still pretty fucking bad. Whether I know it's true. I don't care if you know it's true. That's fine. Live in your truth. My question to you is, what difference does it make what the death certificate said? Are you disputing that anybody died from COVID? Yes or no? Do you dispute that anybody died from COVID? Period. Are you saying nobody really died from COVID? Manipulation. Okay, I get that. I get that. You can argue that all day. I don't care. Are you saying nobody died from COVID? So if the numbers are off, does that somehow dismiss all of COVID? I work in a hospital. Well, you told me you were a psychiatrist last week. Even if you work in a hospital, Virgil, I'm asking you again. Are you telling me that nobody in the hospital died from COVID at all? It was some other reason that they died. And everybody's just calling it COVID. Is that what you're saying? If that's what you're saying, then I'm done talking about COVID. I'm going to move on to the next subject. You keep dancing around my question. You ain't answering my question. And it's an easy question. It's a yes or a no. Are you saying no one ever died from COVID? That's a yes or a no. Where do you think we were? What does that mean? That still ain't a yes or a no. Did anybody die from COVID? Yes or no? Has anybody ever died from COVID? Yes or no? Period. Whatever you think the real numbers are, has anybody? I can't make the question any simpler. So if you don't answer the question, I'm going to move on to the next subject, and I'm not going to even revisit this ever again. Because it's telling that even the simplest question has to have all of this other stuff around it to distract away from the question. And that's what people were doing when this whole pandemic was going on, is they were focusing on the wrong thing. People were trying to act like spoons and shit was sticking to their arms and all that other stuff. Yes, they did a flu variation. Well, whatever you call it, was it killing people? You call it the flu variation. They called it COVID-19. Who gives a fuck what they called it? Did people die from that strain of the flu variation? Yes or no? You said yes. That's the point. Whether you say X amount of people died from it, and you say there's death number manipulation, okay. But are you saying, did that make it less important? Did that make it something that didn't need to be addressed? Did that make it a disease that didn't need to have a cure to, because you're arguing with how many people actually died from it? So we didn't need to treat it? Is that what you're saying? We should have just let it continue to run rampant? So we should have just ignored it and it would have went away. Now, is that what we're doing? Are we doing the Trump thing? Yes, people died from the bubonic plague. They did. And how did we get past the bubonic plague? We just let it kill enough people till it decided to go away? How did the bubonic plague get cured? How did bird flu get cured? How did what was the other one, Lori? SCARS and all that other stuff. How did that get SARS? How did all that get cured? It didn't just go away on its own. Did it? Are we doing the Donald Trump thing? Did they inject bleach? Is that how it got cured? Did they take horse pill medicine? You know, did they ivermectin? Did they
Yes.
pray it away? Did they pray it away? Did they do like Donald Trump and just say one day it'll just automatically disappear? No, it was a control construct. Yes, control of putting people in an environment that we're not going to make it spread anymore. And you can do that a lot of ways, but one of the ways is herd immunity, is making sure that you have more people actually vaccinated than unvaccinated, and it controls the atmosphere to breed. It's like a fungus. If you give a fungus the conditions for it to grow, it'll continue to grow. But once you shut off those conditions and control it, you haven't stopped the fungus from existence. You've mainly controlled its ability to grow. Ding, 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 ding. And that, folks, is the more you know. Now, let's jump into this whole, I'll jump more about Jimmy Kimmel when we see what the Trump administration is going to do to combat Jimmy Kimmel being back live on air. But Lori, to your breaking news about James Comey, this has kind of been in the hopper for a while, and it's going to be crazy because Donald Trump over the last week and a half had sent Pam Bondi a social media notice basically saying, hey, you need to get on the ball and start prosecuting all these people that are my enemies that came after me, whether it was Tish James, whether it was Jim Comey, whether it was some other people, Adam Schiff, Gavin Newsom. He's got a whole hit list. Jim Comey one. Well, what had happened too is that he had a attorney in the District of Virginia fired that he nominated. And he wanted him to press charges against Letitia James. Again, totally eroding our democratic norms, where the Justice Department is supposed to be independent of the executive. You know, he has put his thumb on the scale to try to get the prosecutions that he wants. And it's not supposed to be that way. You're not supposed to try to direct your Justice Department to arbitrarily find dirt on people that you don't like and then charge them. This was the whole reason that he got impeached the second time, is because he tried to pressure Vladimir Zelensky to find dirt on Joe Biden for his campaign purposes. And he's still doing it. Now that he has control of a Justice Department that is not going to push back on him like the first one could have and maybe would have, that he has more willing actors out there, he was taken back because he appointed this guy, and this guy basically said, no, I'm not going to do that because there's no evidence of mortgage fraud for Letitia James. We're not, because attorneys know one thing, Lori, they don't think like Trump. Attorneys know that in a court of law, you got to be able to present a case worth prosecuting. You can't just walk in there with a bunch of platitudes and with a bunch of grievances and things like that. You cannot put that on legal document and give it to a judge. A judge can cite you and refer you to the bar. And you could have your license suspended. You could have your license revoked. You could just be sanctioned where you face fines and penalties. Trump doesn't care or understand about all that. They did something to me, I want them to pay. That's his reason and rationale. And this attorney knew damn well that he wasn't going to do that. He wasn't going to do his reputation like that. So he said no. And they basically, they always say, well, they resigned. And it's not really so much that they resigned. They just told him, you can resign or I'll fire your ass. You want to resign and make it, because here's the thing. If I fire you, a lot of times you don't get your benefits and pension and stuff like that. If I allow you to resign, then a lot of times you get to walk away with something, right? So a lot of times they allow them to resign. But it was more or less a fire and he got pushed out. So the whole idea was, Lori, was he going to be able to find another sycophant that would have the gall to walk into a court, present to a judge these charges? Now, this is an indictment now, which means that they presented whatever evidence they had to a grand jury. To your point, Lori, a clock was ticking because Jim Comey gave testimony almost 5 years ago about him authorizing the leaking of information about Hillary Clinton email, all this other kind of stuff going on. He said in the hearing that he did not authorize that. And there was even an inspector general report that backed Comey up. So this is going to be hard to prove because there's already an IG report saying, no, Comey's good. This is the other reason the other guy wasn't going to go along with this either, too, because they were like, there's nothing there. You want me to bring these prosecutions up against these people? And so the reason that Tuesday becomes important is because there is what we call a statute of limitations. It runs 5 years. There are exceptions to that, but for most statute of limitation cases, After 5 years, you're not going to be able to bring the case because it's going to be considered stale. There, like I said, there are exceptions, but this one was set to expire. So Trump found a interim district attorney in Virginia to go ahead and shame herself and do this. So she would have had to go before a grand jury. And you got to remember that only the prosecution presents evidence to a grand jury. There is no defense or anything like that, which is why there's always the saying that a grand jury will indict a ham sandwich, because you only have to present enough for the grand jury to say, okay, there is potentially something there to move forward with an indictment. The indictment doesn't mean anything. Yes, he will get arraigned. He will have to probably post bail, or just be released on his own reconnaissance. But then the other things start. They'll have to go into court and start to present a lot of what it is that they expect to put in front of a jury. There will be a lot of hearings between now and jury selection. Lori, it may not even make it to a jury selection. A judge might look at what the prosecution is putting up and could summarily just throw it out. But I don't think Trump really cares whether it gets thrown out or not. He wants vengeance. He wants a news story. The more you talk about Jim Comey, the less you're talking about Jeffrey Epstein. The more you're talking about Letitia James, the more you're talking about, the less you're talking about Jeffrey Epstein. This is his thing. It's not whether he can win the case, it's whether he can cause distraction. The more you're talking about these things, you're not talking about Obamacare benefits about to expire to people and their healthcare premiums are going up. The more you talk about this stuff, you're not talking about the fact that prices have not gone down. The war in Ukraine has not been solved in 24 hours. The war in Gaza and Israel has not been resolved, and all of the other failings. You're not talking about the dismal job reports and things like that, because you can only pay attention to so many things at one time. So to me, that's what a lot of this is. And oh, by the way, I'm doing this to people I don't like. Comey must have some dirt on man, baby Trump. I don't think he has dirt on him necessarily. I think Comey did the unthinkable when Trump asked Comey for his loyalty. And Comey said, "Sir, I'm loyal to the Constitution." Now, even though him and Donald Trump both took an oath to the Constitution, only one of them actually meant it. Regardless of what you think about Jim Comey, because he has faced scrutiny from both sides of the aisle. Remember, this is the same person that right before the election, he reopened Hillary email's case. And it could have potentially, which is ironic, because it's undisputable that it did have some effect, Lori, on the outcome of the election where Trump won. But that still wasn't enough for Trump to forgive Comey for not offering his loyalty, to the fact that Trump even had Comey's daughter fired because his daughter oversaw the Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein cases, and they got her out of the way. Patel always looks startled, like Charles Manson and whispering in his ear. Well, he also looks like that because he's cross-eyed. So he'd say that, but he is cross-eyed. Deflection, distractions, misdirection, all of that. Absolutely, Virgil. That's exactly what he's doing. He's putting on a show. He's giving meat to his base to show that he's going after his enemies. You got to remember when he was running for president, Lord. Remember when he said, I am your retribution. He meant that shit. A lot of things have been about retribution. I'm settling scores. But the problem that he's going to have, Lori, is he's made mention of the people that he doesn't like and how he would love to see them prosecuted. So now that these prosecutions are coming to fruition, he's then going to have to clear a bar from the defense of this being anything more than vindictive prosecution. And the problem is his previous tweets and other things that he said are going to come back to bite him in the ass. It's like, if you have a beef with somebody, it's probably a good idea not to tell everybody that you got a beef with them. Because then when you're president and the Justice Department is obviously doing what it is that you want them to do, it's going to at least cast doubt that you're acting in good faith. Now they're going to have to prove that this is more than just a vindictive prosecution. The same thing that happened to Kilmore Abrego Garcia, that because everybody kept protesting him being taken away and everything else, and they said he would never come back to the United States. Remember that? And then the only way that he ended up coming back to the United States was what? They come up with some trumped up charges on him, right? In Tennessee. That's vindictive prosecution. And that's going to get sussed out that way too. Even one of the judges, I think, is already kind of seeing that. And that's why they even ordered, no, y'all just need to release this dude. Y'all did this all wrong. And instead of just saying you're wrong, you know, the old saying is, when you're digging a hole, the best way out is to stop digging. They're still digging. Because they don't believe in stop digging. They just believe in digging deeper. And that's what they're doing. So yeah, that's what's going on with Comey. We'll keep an eye on that. We'll have plenty of time over the next several months to really see how far that goes, Lori. But to me, it's going to be more about press clips, headlines, clickbait, than Jim Comey ever having to really worry about being convicted of this. The other problem, and I'll end on this one with him, the other problem they're going to run into, Lori, is they're trying to prove that he lied. Proving that somebody lied is one of the hardest things, because you're going to have to prove intent, that he meant to deceive. Even if you prove that he wasn't accurate in what he said, you have to go into his mens rea and prove that he knew he was lying at the time that he said it. You ever repeated something and then come find out later that you heard it wrong, or you misunderstood it and then you regurgitated it the wrong way? Well, that's not willful lying. You would have to have heard it and then turned around and knowingly said it falsely. They have to prove that. And the problem is that because this is not a civil case where the bar is more likely than not to convict, this is a criminal case where you have to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. You got 12 in the jury box. All 12 have to agree that you're guilty. Even if one says you're not, it's over. So this is another reason why an attorney will say, hey, if this case is weak enough where I don't believe I can get 12 jurors to turn in a conviction, most attorneys will decline to prosecute. Right? Because they don't want their record to look like, be all flimsy with a bunch of losses. They're only going to bring the cases that they feel like they got a good chance of winning. The reason that nobody else wants to do this is because they all know that this is a farce, or as Trump likes to call them, a scam, and it's not going to go anywhere. So this whole Jim Comey thing is much to do about nothing, except for the fact that you're going to make this man have to pay a whole lot of legal fees and everything else just to basically come to the conclusion that it's going to come to, which is absolutely ridiculous. So there we go with Jim Comey. Any I know I threw a lot of stuff out there on that. Anything to add to that?
No, I think you got it covered. But I think they also, not on going off on Jim
Uh-huh.
Comey. Now that we're talking about, where I think I remembered reading something about how Republicans, because as you had brought up before about the expiration of Medicaid and this one, people losing their health care. So
Mm-hmm.
they're trying to reframe the one big beautiful bill and trying to rename it into the working parent working something for America or something. They're trying to rename the bill. But what I see is very interesting is that this party that passed this bill with all of its cruelty and everything, and for this one, how they're now trying to reframe this and trying to say that this is making our lives better, which we still see in every report. And I don't care how they're going to try to make it as rosy as possible, it's not. Prices are still high, things are not getting any better. People, I said rural hospitals in these little towns, and all these people that voted for Trump and voting against themselves because they wanted to make sure that
Mm-hmm.
other people didn't have it, but now that it's affecting them, it's now that they're trying to reframe that. So it's just, to me, is very interesting that now they're trying to kind of repackage and rebrand the one big beautiful bill to do something else. Is that the big beautiful Bill Clinton?
Is,
Not,
is,
not,
is this play on words? I got
yeah,
the joke.
yeah,
I got
I
the joke.
got you. I got it. But that's what I
I
just
did
think it's
not have
interesting.
sex with that woman.
Well, like as I said, I just think it's just very interesting that
Hmm.
now that most Republicans are now, because they're also coming up to midterm elections, now that they're having to go back to their own districts to talk about these things that they're supposedly doing, representing their communities. It's just very interesting to me that now everything is on a branding issue.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. There is, and you can tell that people are seeing the writing on the wall when it comes to what they signed up for. And the one thing that you can tell is when you're looking at the number of congressional seats that are going to be open next year, and a lot of them are due to folks saying, you know what, we're not going to run, we're getting out. So as of mid-September, 37 members of Congress have already announced they will not seek re-election in 2026. This includes 10 senators and 27 House members.
So and again, with that being said, their numbers, and especially because you're trying to get control of the House, which is now holding on by a thread, with that going on. Plus, as I said, some of these, if we're going and we're starting to talk about what Trump has said here when he said in part of his inauguration, and how he keeps reiterating how he's making America great. America was never great. Um, but for him to say that it's better, it's not. And even though he's working on building and destroying and making a ballroom and destroyed a whole rose garden for foolishness, it's not getting any better. But what I just don't appreciate and see is, again, for these people that voted against because you thought that it was only going to affect not
Well,
a small poor population, but
Mhm.
now it's affecting you. Instead of crying on the internet and talking about that now, that because of the aspects in the one big beautiful bill, that you can no longer, because you have your nonverbal child that depends on, services, they're now cut.
Yeah. Well, one thing that you said, and I want to clarify about "Make America Great Again." That is a statement that is a white supremacist statement, because a lot of us will say, "Well, when was America great?"
Right. But
Well,
it never was.
from the eyes of a white supremacist, America was better when we did not have as much immigration, when there wasn't interracial dating and marriages, when um, white folks had the ability to redline, when there was no Civil Rights Act of 1970, whatever it was. America was greater then. And some of them will even tell you when women did not have the right to vote. Um, they will tell you that that's when America was great, when there was no pronouns and we didn't have to worry about gay rights and transgender, and there was no pride months and things like that. That's when America was great, when we didn't have to acknowledge that the corporate businessman that got the wife, two kids, a dog, and a white picket fence is raw dogging dudes in the bathroom, but paying his dues in church, and on the outside look like the uh, um, uh, model husband and everything else, but living on the down low. Um, those kind of things. That's when America was great again, where diversity did not have to be a part of our lives. That's when America was great, when diversity could sit there and just be uh, um discarded. We weren't being pushed to embrace it. We could just simply when affirmative action wasn't a thing, Lori. That's when America was great to a white supremacist. You have to look at who's saying it. It's a white supremacist that's saying it. So through his rose-colored glasses, America was great through all of those other things. America started to be, because think about what does he say about when he says America being great? Then he says we are losing our country. To who? Who are you losing it to? Everybody that
Well,
didn't make America great. Well, who didn't make America great? All of those factions that I previously said. So when you look at it that way, it is a white supremacist point of view statement that may not reflect everybody, but it definitely reflects how white supremacists feel, that they're losing their country to people they do not like, they fundamentally have hatred for, and tell you that they need to go back either to their country or go back and hide in a closet
how
or
can I
just
go back to?
simply.
But what? This is the country that I was born in. I can't go back to anywhere now. Yes, I have ancestors and family members that were, but I was physically
well,
born
well,
here.
you can be here, but they want you to go work in Alabama in the cotton fields. See, the reason that you people think that you should have the jobs that you have is because now y'all done let all these foreigners come into this country and take the jobs at the chicken plants and in the fields that y'all should be working. Again, you got to look at it from the white supremacist point of view for
Well,
it to make
if
sense. Because when they
yes,
say
it
and
makes
make America great again, he's not talking to you.
no. Of course, I know
He,
he's not talking to
he's
me.
talking to
He's
the other white. He's talking to the other white supremacists
yes,
that believe that there was a time when America was better because
yes,
America wasn't for everybody.
right. And then they should see. I think Trump needs to go to be in that town. I don't know if you've ever seen that or something, or if they had a article about it, and it was on about in a town in Arkansas could um, thank you. I appreciate that. That only wants to allow, and which is going back to, and as I said, if you're talking from a white supremacist standpoint, to have the all white town. That's all that they want in there. Just white people. They don't want anybody else in there. But again, if you're thinking about from as a white supremacist and then going on that. So, but if you're in this town, which I think I had seen on Facebook, which was kind of funny, which was to me, which was a great meme because it was like, that's fine if you want to be in this great town. Don't ask for air conditioning. Don't ask for no, like lights, signals, things like that. Things that were made by people of color, black people. So all of these conferences, when they said that America, when he's trying to make it back when, America was great, which is basically in the Stone Age, because they can live without lights because you can't live with the comforts of that black people have made and advanced in making your life easier. Because again, if that's what you want to do, no problem. Actually, I remember seeing someone who made a comment and said it was a black woman who basically said, "I want to go back to where it's segregated because I want to know if I don't want to sit there and be part of something that I know I'm not that I don't want to be a part of."
Mm-hmm.
If you want to sit here and to say that, but then you cannot then get my culture and get anything from me and to get those other things because again, which I go back on the last of my rant is if you're going to sit here and talk about foreigners and cultures and all these people that are invading our country, that's fine. But please don't go get any Mexican food, Chinese food, Indian food, Thai food, nothing. You will sit here and eat bologna and white sandwiches.
Ain't it funny how a lot of these people will go to Puerto Vallarta?
And that's just dropped.
What the hell was that? What was that?
That was the cabinet. I told you. And all the glasses dropped. Mm-hmm. Yep.
As long as it wasn't my liquor bottles.
Well, maybe even this way, but now I'm gonna have to buy more glasses. Gotta spend money.
I don't have it. Anyway. So love a Lori rant. So Virgil, I'll close the show with my final thoughts because I gotta go check on this cabinet that just fell. So Trump also, well, he's had a disastrous week. From his speech to the United Nations, which was just totally off the rails, to their conspiracy theories about escalator gate, and just flat out lying that the escalator that he was supposed to go up at the UN stopped as soon as him and the first lady got on it. And there could be a whole lot of McDonald's fat ass jokes around that. But apparently it was one of the videographers at the top that had tripped the fail-safe and it stopped the escalator. But you got all these right-wing people come with all these conspiracies. Trump talking about his teleprompter stop working. How many times on the campaign trail did Trump talk about his teleprompter not working? And when are we just going to accept the fact that it's not that the teleprompter stops working, his brain stops working. He can't read. Trump has never been one that likes to read off a teleprompter anyway because he mispronounces words and he can't read. Which is so funny because when he talks about autism, I for years wondered if he's on some part of the spectrum to begin with. I think Trump is autistic, or slightly autistic, but that's neither here nor there. I can't diagnose the man, but he does appear to be slightly autistic. But he always blames the teleprompter. And these folks act like every time he says it, it's the first time he said it. He always blames the teleprompter. But he went in some crazy off-the-rail speech telling everybody about his hats, that Trump was always right, that They need to get a hold of their immigration policy because it's ruining their countries by letting people migrate to their countries. All kinds of crazy shit. That was one thing. But then he decided to stand beside Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and break to the world the cause of autism without any facts. So, Virgil, when I talk about conspiracy theories, this is what I mean. He decided to blame he couldn't even say acetaminophen. He couldn't get it out. He's like, yeah, look at here. Okay. Like, you knew you were going to have a press conference. You would think if you had trouble saying the word, you would have practiced pronouncing it before you got right in front of the damn cameras, you goof. And he still got up there, Lori, and still just brutally botched trying to say the word.
Acetaminophen.
Acetaminophen, yeah. Yeah, we can say it. He can't.
Yes, and then that's when he relied on Tylenol. And that pregnant women shouldn't take Tylenol. No one should take Tylenol.
Because he said because when you're pregnant, there's an increased chance of autism. That has been debunked. There are no studies out there that show any connection.
Autism was discovered in 1911. Tylenol came out in 1950. What are we saying? What are we saying? Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting.
What we're saying is facts don't matter when you're trying to push a narrative. Those are what we call inconvenient facts.
Oh, so the man with the worm in his brain. We have to listen to him. Got it.
Exactly.
Understood.
Now here's the problem. Tylenol, if they wanted, could really pull some kind of defamation suit. Now, the president is immune, and the Justice Department would step in on his behalf, but they would have a case because you could be causing Tylenol stock to be going down and all kinds of stuff. Or if somebody or face frivolous lawsuits from somebody who may end up with a autistic child and say, you know what, while I was pregnant, I was taking Tylenol for pain. Now I got an autistic child. Tylenol, y'all owe me for having an autistic child. So there's some repercussions that's going to come from that, which he gives no craps about. Just to throw that out. Here's the other thing. You mean after all these years of studying autism, it took brainworm RFK and you to figure out that all along it was Tylenol? And was it Tylenol? Was it Tylenol PM? Was it Tylenol extra strength? Was it Tylenol for migraines? Which one? All of them? You know, RFK could sue me, keep it between us. Yeah. But, you know, it's just crazy but there's a bunch of people out there, Lori, that will believe this stuff. And he's telling women don't take it. Nothing good can come from it and all this other kind of stuff. And it's like, yeah, they're just going to now have to endure pain, huh? Luckily, you've never been pregnant, Donald. It's a painful process. They may need that Tylenol, especially on the lower end of women that may not be able to get the best health care. Sometimes that Tylenol may be the only thing that they have available to them as an option. So you're now basically just telling women to suck it up. Because he even said somewhere in all of that diatribe, this is how he feels. You cannot tell a country to stop taking Tylenol because of how you fucking feel. That's crazy.
Idiot.
That's
this man
crazy.
is an idiot.
And then he gives a sidebar about breaking up the MMR vaccine, which he couldn't even remember what the R stood for. But then said, yeah, you should break it up. You shouldn't be putting all that junk into a small baby at one time because, and I quote, it's just too much liquid. You know, this is what thoughts and prayers are for.
No, it's policy and change. Actually,
No, when somebody says something like that, that's what thoughts and prayers are for. Because there ain't really anything else you can say when you listen to a fool, because it kept giving me COVID vibes all over again about pumping bleach into your body and watching it do a number on the body on the inside.
But remember, people die.
And
people will die.
The fact that Clorox, after that press conference, had to reiterate, do not do this. I can't even listen to the RFK voice. Well, what do you mean? You can't listen to I'm like, okay.
The man who has a worm in his brain.
First of all, we taking medical advice from a heroin addict? Is that what we doing? So the person that didn't have any issue with sticking needles in his arms now has a problem with you doing it. Ain't that funny?
No, it's not.
That's crazy though, isn't it? Because when you're a heroin addict, isn't the whole thing shooting up? Now he got a problem with you getting a little jab. Hey, RFK, vaccine needles are way smaller than the ones you used to, bro. Check it out. Anyway, I hate to call somebody on that. I mean, drug addiction is real, and there's nothing to necessarily make fun of. But when you sit there trying to stand in the way of medical professionals and you have no medical background whatsoever, and now all of a sudden you know more crack cocaine, sir. Okay, crack cocaine. Well, now all of a sudden you know more than the people that work in that field. That's a problem. That's a problem. And again, we know why he got the position anyway. It wasn't because of his medical knowledge. A lot of the people around Trump are not in their positions because of any areas of expertise. It's their willingness to do and say whatever the orange leader wants them to say. He learned that in his second term, he would surround himself with people that do not know the word no. And that's just it, plain and simple. So what do I think about the Tylenol? I think it's dangerous. I think it is reckless to do that. And hopefully people will not listen to that. But it is a shame that you cannot trust what comes out of the mouth of the president of the United States. But unfortunately, me saying that Donald Trump has a propensity to lie is like me saying I have a propensity to breathe air. That's almost a given. Anyway, we're going to wrap up this week of Head to Head with Brian Parker. I'm surprised I didn't get the wrap up sign. But we're going to wrap it up for this week. We'll see y'all again next week. And next week, it'll actually be October. Welcome to fall. We are now in fall. And now officially, people, you can get your damn pumpkin spice on. Just don't get it put on no salmon. Anyway, the next thing we'll see is an alcoholic defense secretary. I mean, why not? Why not have a defense secretary that has been accused of being an alcoholic? That might be too much of a stretch. I'm sure we won't see a Pete Hegseth. Oh, damn, we already got one. Shit. Well, maybe we won't have a border czar that takes $50,000 in paper bags. It seems like they keep trying to keep all the criminals out, but he keep hiring them into positions. So anyway, I will let y'all go. I'll see you next week. Y'all take care. Peace out.
This a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And this a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for